Hello and good morning. My name is Colton and I will be running through this heart dissection with you today. So the first structure that is really important would be this apex right here, and that is a structure and muscle of the left ventricle. And two more structures that are pretty common are going to be the left auricle and the right auricle. And those are ear-like structures that make up the atria of both left and right. And then another common structure right here is the base. And so these are just more of the visual aspects of the hearts that can be found really quickly. And the base makes up the attachment of blood vessels entering and exiting the heart, so it plays an important function. And then we have our arteries, and those are blood vessels that carry the blood away from the heart to help supply the rest of the body with oxygenated blood. And the main one is going to be the aorta, and it is found right here. And that is like the large artery that emerges from the left ventricle. And this is the one that carries the blood throughout the body. And another important one is going to be the brachiocephalic, trunk. And that is found, sorry, I gotta find it right here. I'll pop it over right here. And that one is important for the branching of the aorta. And that splits into the right subclavian artery and the right common carotid artery. And some of the other arteries are the coronary artery, and this leads from the aorta, and that supplies the blood to the heart muscle. And that's typically right around here. And then another important structure would be our inferior vena cava and our superior vena cava. And so the inferior vena cava is a large vein that returns blood from the lower body regions to the right atrium. And both of these structures are typically found on the posterior side. Unfortunately, with this heart, you were not able to see those veins. But the superior vena cava is a large vein that returns blood from the upper regions of the body to the right atrium. So both of these help bring the blood back. And our veins play an important role because it returns the blood back to the heart. And then another important structure is the atriums. So I'll open our dissection. And our atriums are the upper two chambers of the heart, and there's a right and a left atrium. And I can kind of show you. So our atrium is going to be right there, and then our other one is going to be right in here. And our atriums, like I said, there's both right and left. And then another important structure is going to be our ventricles. And so those are the two lower chambers of the heart, and these force the blood into either the aorta or the pulmonary arteries. And then we have our different valves. I wonder if I can open this. So our tricuspid valve is the anterioventricular valve between the right atrium and the right ventricle. So I can kind of open this up for you. Sorry, this heart is, this one's a little bit more difficult to open. Okay. And the tri means 3. And so these valves are open and shut to allow blood to pass through. And then another one is going to be the bicuspid valve. And so this is 2. And this one, I believe, is right over here. So right there. And the bicuspid valve is the arterioventricular valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle, and it has another name called the mitral valve. And so this just allows the left atrium and ventricle to allow blood flow and between the two. And then another important one is going to be our semilunar valve, and that's the valve between the atria and the left ventricle. And I believe that's left ventricle. So it's going to be right about here. Sorry. So right about there, right here. And so our semilunar valve is the valve between the atria and the left ventricle, which I said. And there's also another one that's between the pulmonary trunk and the right. So that's going to be about, oh, I don't know if we can see this one, because we have our pulmonary trunk right here. And that's going to be between the pulmonary trunk and the right ventricle. I wonder if I can get the structure open. Unfortunately, this heart is, it's very hard to find the structures, just because of how compact it is right now from being in the formaldehyde solution. And then, so we covered that, and then another structure that is pretty prominent is the interventricular septum, which you can see right here and right here. And that is a muscular wall, and that kind of helps separate the right atrium and left ventricles. And another structure are going to be our chordae tendae and our papillary muscles. And then I'm gonna see, I think this one, you can see it pretty good. So our papillary muscles anchor the chordae tendae to the valves. So if you can see right here, right by my finger, that is going to be the papillary muscles. And the chordae tendae are the fibrous cords that connect. So those little strings that connect the bicuspid and tricuspid with the papillary muscles, and it's known as the heartstrings. And the trabeculae carnae are just like the little, I don't know if I can, the little ridges in there. And those are the folds and ridges on the walls of the ventricles. And those are just some of the structures that can be found in the heart. Our heart is a vital organ, and it's a very interesting organ. And there's a lot of different parts that help keep our blood oxygenated and us moving. So thank you very much. Bye.